Welcome everybody. It is Business Monday. I am Josh Fenton. We are at the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. This is Megan Decker from G Media. Where have you been? You have not been on in 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Yeah.
What have you been doing around the world?
It's been a hectic summer.
But
I'm glad to be back.
It's been a hectic summer. I think you were on right after the big blockchain conference here in Rhode Island. We had about 100 top-level folks. Multiple billionaires were here,
Yes.
big innovators, creator of Vonage,
Some
and all
trillionaires.
sorts of, were there any trillionaires?
Possibly.
Yeah. With Bitcoins, you just never know.
Never know.
You've been busy. Talk a little bit about what's been going on this summer.
Sure. So yes, it has been extremely busy. Sorry for not making it down here,
Yeah,
but I'm
that's
back.
right.
So with all of the exposure that came with the opportunity between our, favorite client Alchemist and the government, which we helped, set the stage for the Rhode Island Blockchain Summit, we've just had a lot of opportunity open up as we still, explore Rhode Island being the blockchain state, and we have just we're starting to work with a lot of great clients, having a lot of conversation with folks that are doing everything from blockchain to AI, VR, and just a lot of different platforms. So it's been really cool. It's
Exploding faster than the capacity to be able to absorb it, I think, is the reality. I mean,
and same for us. Yeah, absolutely.
And folks really, the talent base to be able to meet the needs both within the blockchain community as well as the supporting groups is really one of the biggest issues, right? I mean, everybody's searching for talent all the time. Talk a little bit about when you're meeting with CEOs and chief marketing officers of some of these emerging companies. They're looking for solutions. They're looking at Rhode Island. I think that's a reality as a potential base. What is it that they talk about the most?
So that's a great question, and one of the key things to your question is a lot of the time there isn't a CMO.
Yeah.
So where, as we're talking to multiple companies, organizations, pre-ICOs, post-ICOs, the one big thing that we see is a lot of them missing really like an IAT structure, like how they're working with agencies, how they're really liaisoning with their partners and where they're putting their marketing dollars to.
Yeah.
So you see, just in this space in general, in the industry, a lot of people are running faster than they can keep up with even marketing themselves.
Right.
So the one thing we want to make sure, though, is that there's a strong brand pre and post.
Right.
That it's not just about, because you also want your investors to want to invest again with you.
Yeah.
So you need to have a real solid platform for a product or service offering after you've launched your ICO.
Right.
So, that's a big part of how we're supporting. I can bring a lot of my background from my New York City days, working with like the much larger Fortune 100 brands, taking that roadmap and we're really supporting them from that standpoint before we even jump into the branding piece. Because that's another thing. There's a lot of money in this space, but it's not necessarily going to the right places for marketing dollars. Like sponsorships are huge things, but if you're doing a sponsorship 2 to 3 days before an event, you're not getting the true value of that partnership and leveraging every channel that you could be to get the full exposure and value that you're investing in.
Talk a little bit about some of the challenges that these companies are having in differentiating from one another. I think probably the company that's out there the most, just from the old school standpoint, is one of IBM. I mean, IBM is trying to sort of brand themselves as the blockchain company. They are not at the same tier as some of the more innovative entrepreneurial companies that are really at the more cutting edge of technology. Who's going to be, in a few years, we saw the dot-com bubble, lots of companies went out of business, but it sparked eBay and Amazon and multiple other now leading brands in the country or in the world. Who's going to bust out during this period of time and start to become a leading technology blockchain brand in the U.S. or on the globe?
Oh, well, if I knew the answer to that, I don't know. I'd be investing in them. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be IBM. I think IBM's doing a lot of focus on media and fraud in that space, and that's you know, a great thing for them to hang their hats on. I think it will be the folks that really crawl before they walk and take the opportunity to build the foundation of the company and bringing in the right partners.
As these companies are all exploding, do they have the discipline? Or is it just the opportunities are so immense right now that they're like little Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and they're just trying to advance their technology and create new superstructures to be able to serve any number of clients?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, the one thing I can tell you is from, gosh, the number of initial calls that I've taken over the past 30 to 60 days, there are a lot of brilliant people in this space, and some that are marketing themselves very well, the majority that aren't.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, we're able to support. But I think what you're going to see is, I personally think it's going to be very similar to the .com era in regards to.
In some circle, we'll expand it.
But I see that not in that blockchain will go away. Blockchain is going to be the platform.
The internet did not go away.
Exactly.
When the bubble.
Exactly. But I do think that obviously, just like with everything, it's going to have to be regulated. So I don't think you will see ICOs, you know, at every corner like you do right now.
Right.
I think that there's going to be a lot more regulation, just like when, you know, Roth IRAs. You know,
right.
You're just not going to be able to. I don't think that they'll potentially be as popular, and there'll just be a lot more regulation against them. But that being said, there's a lot of these companies that have 5 different ventures going on at the same time, which is great, and they all usually have some kind of unifying thread. So from that standpoint, we're really able to help come in and build a real strategy around that for them to be a successful pre and post offering.
One of your other clients had some good exposure recently.
One of our newest.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the gig. Was it this past weekend?
This past Friday.
Past Friday.
So one of our newest clients who we're so excited to have on board. So I'm gonna brag about them for a minute. I'm taking my minute to brag. So
30 seconds for bragging.
Okay, all right, maybe a minute. So I mean, as you know, with MetLife, where we handled all of their national activations on clients such as Sallie Mae and GSK, on those campuses, we really brought in the technology piece with both myself and David Paola, our CEO, are really, you know, we're really focused on tying brand and technology together, no matter the industry or sector that we're touching. But so there was a lot of VR that we did in that space.
Virtual reality creations for MetLife on all sorts of different applications.
Yeah, distracted driving to home safety, office safety. You name it, and we've never stopped really building our platforms in that space. But now, especially as we're talking to a lot of blockchain, a lot of technology folks, we have taken on our newest client, which is Omni Labs, which are very cool. We were chatting with them. Geez, you know, our first few conversations were right before London Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Where
what do they do?
They are awesome, first off.
Besides awesome, what do they do?
Sure. So they are in the robotics space, which is really cool. And they were on the Today Show last Friday because they received so much exposure online from being the first robot to walk the runway in London Fashion Week, first robot ever. They received 300 million views online, which sparked so much exposure that the Today Show asked them to be on the show.
Great.
So in that same day, we also contracted them as our client, which is really exciting.
And are these super thin robots, right? Because they were on the runway at Fashion Week.
Josh.
No?
Yes.
Yes, very, very thin robots.
Oh.
Not like those kind that clean the carpets.
Like a Roomba?
Yeah, not like a Roomba.
No, I have a Roomba. My twins like to ride around on the Roomba.
Oh,
but we don't, So with Omni Labs,
Yeah.
this is the really cool thing about them. So the one thing in the robotics space is it's very expensive. It's a lucrative space, but it's expensive and it's hard to find collaboration. So they actually are setting up an open source platform. So to allow developers to work with them and continue, you know, to support functionalities. But let me tell you, like, just a few things that they do. So, and I'll send you the link to the Today Show video as well. They do everything from, like for instance, their robot, if your child was sick and potentially, you know, hopefully not terminally, but needed to be home for quite a bit of time. So studies show that children and probably even older people lose their will to live when they're not able to engage in their normal environment around their peers, you know, other students, and, you know, totally makes sense. They have a robot that goes to school and engages within the classroom. So the child feels immersed in their normal environment as if they're there. And it's a hands-free opportunity where they're not having to hold an iPad.
Right.
Maybe they can't hold that tablet.
Right.
And it's not just something, you know, sitting at a desk. It's fully immersed within the classroom from all different angles, and they're able to engage in that way. So it does really great stuff. And, you know, so from a humanities standpoint, bravo to them.
And as a mother of twin 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds?
They're not 3. They just look like 4-year-olds. They're 2.5.
2.5-year-olds? Have you adapted this technology to your parenting repertoire?
I might. You never know. You never know. You know, that's the other thing is it's not an audacious price.
Yeah.
So that's also something nice that it kind of offers up the opportunity.
You're doing this in trade?
Yeah.
No. That's right.
And on sale. No.
Twins, meet your new mommy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, babysitting.
Babysitting.
See, now you're thinking.
Absolutely.
It might be the that might be the future.
Where's Omni Labs located?
So right now they're in London, but they're U.S. based.
Gotcha.
They're a little bit all over.
Yeah, got it. Exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot going
cool
on.
Tech application.
What's going on with you?
You know, we've been super busy. You know, it's always busy in election year, so there's the complexity and distraction and just sort of added energy around campaigns. You know, I think we've been expanding quite a bit, so that's been exciting.
Yeah,
and you know, it's got this wonderful opportunity right now in being able to grow a business substantially. And you know, I think the economy for the most part is pretty solid here. I think the trends are very good for a digital media company, obviously, especially ones who can figure out how to monetize. And you know, we've figured out some strategies that we're not a CPM-based, just banner ad kind of company, where I think if you are, you're in a boatload of trouble.
Yeah.
Vox, who owns a number of different media brands, missed their targets, and their VCs who poured a ton of money into them are less than pleased, as VCs have a tendency to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're excited about things. I think you know, it's a very interesting period of time. You know, the known is not your competitor. You know,
It's the unknown.
It's the unknown, and I think more importantly, on the positive note, it's the opportunities that you want to take advantage of and think through new solutions for potential partners and for your users, your viewers, and your readers to be able to do things in new and different ways. You know, we just rebuilt the site. It took a long time, and thousands of lives were lost with programmers. As I like
We'll have to get you some robots.
Yes.
You know, we're in kind of the same. We're in this interesting, like, really busy, but you know, going through the growing pains of as we're taking on new and different clients. But it's really fun. I feel like we're, you know, I've even said it to a few of the folks that we talked to in the blockchain space. I feel like there isn't like a blockchain agency out there, right?
Yeah, right.
And we're really growing up in this space with a lot of these organizations, and we're kind of figuring it out together, which is a really interesting collaborative opportunity. So it's a lot of fun too, because we're kind of putting all the pieces together at the same time. But it's been really fun to work on this new space from a branding perspective.
Well, and folks are really, you know, across the board of business, and probably consumers as well, people are really interested in understanding what blockchain means, how it's applicable to their business, what it means to the future of different aspects of business that they're doing now, and what the potential is. You know, we're thinking about it. We've had conversations with your client,
Yeah.
Alchemist. They're an advertiser on GoLocal. It's always intriguing to see how many people, much higher than average rate of click-throughs on Alchemist's ads, because I think people are just wildly interested to find out what this means and how it's applicable to them, whether
Yeah.
or not you're a partner at a law firm, or you're starting up a new company here in Rhode Island, or you're thinking about reinventing something that you do within your organization.
Yeah, I think that, the beautiful thing about an organization like Alchemist is being a strategic advisory and they're an investor.
Right.
And, with our relationship, which has been so amazing, and we've had a lot of fun ideas together and collaboration, is they're always very open to sharing their network.
Right.
And that's always huge, especially for small agencies. We're small too, but we work with large corporations, whether it's local, national, or global. And so for that, it's really wonderful that we're really immersed into their space as well. And they're just always offering up ideas and cool things that we could be doing together.
You go on the road for 8,427 presentations at different high-profile business meetings. Talk a little bit about some of the events you're going to appear at.
Well, we've been spending a lot of time in New York, so my team has had to do a lot more travel than me since I'm here 2 days a week. But yeah, I've been dragging them to New York City. Last week I was asked to work with Mondo New York, a partner who's immersed in music and technology, especially in blockchain. They're going to be doing I believe it's a 4-day event in Brooklyn next week, and I'll be the moderator for brands and bands.
Nice.
Which I'm excited to be doing. And then, I feel like I have a large calendar planned for this month and next. And then in November, Stephen will be speaking at the 614 Brand Summit.
Stephen from Alchemist.
Yes, Stephen Arayoff, which we secured for him, where he'll be talking, which is in the media space, but really interesting. He's going to be the real thought leader in blockchain, smart contracts, how to keep your brand secure. So he'll be doing that. And then I will be speaking on a panel versus moderating later on in December at the World Forum Disrupt Women in Media.
Nice. Nice. Busy, busy, busy.
Yeah, you should come.
Yeah, I'm coming to all of them.
You should.
Yes, I'm
You
going to be
should.
a groupie, and maybe we'll broadcast live from one or all of those events.
I think you should. It would be great.
Excellent.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
right?
should totally film it.
Yeah, we're buying some new, we'll be able to move a little quicker and a little faster all over the place with some new technology we're bringing on to GoLocal Live.
Let's talk about voice technology for a second.
Quickly.
Oh, quickly.
Yes,
Okay, or we can
quickly.
talk about it next time.
We'll talk about it next time. We'll do voice technology
And
next time.
SEO.
And voice technology and SEO. Tune in then, next time, about a month from now.
Maybe. Just kidding. I'll be here, I promise.
Depending on where she's speaking. Megan Decker, President, Chief Operating Officer at Gene Media, at the cutting edge of helping work with some of the top blockchain firms in the country on developing their brands and on their marketing. Thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, stay tuned. We'll be back at 4 o'clock sharp. I'll have Gary Sass and Saul Kaplan talking about just about everything smart in the world with those two. Thanks so much for tuning into the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. See you back in a couple minutes.